Okay. Now let's move. So this is a study. This is a couple of studies I have referred and brought to you. One is a Gallup. Gallup is a kind of a very popular employee engagement assessing uh, testing tool. It has been used by, I think, 3 million, 3 million or 30 million. Some sort of big numbers of people are already used it. And you can also Google it and see what is Gallup test. Okay. Another one is McKinsey. It's a great organization. Of course, Harvard. You must be very familiar with this Harvard. So these are some of the organizations, I have referred this kind of statistics for you. So because I wanted to actually understand the actual requirement and need of this systems in the business. All right. So a business with a team system and a business without a team system, what's happening with them? Without a team system, 68% of owner time spent working in the business, not on the business. 96 minutes of productivity lost daily by small business owners. Okay, it is actually losing. Yeah, 62% of employees globally not engaged at work. That's a big number, right? 62% is more than half because there is no proper team system. 8.8 trillion billion dollar. Sorry, 8.8 trillion dollar lost globally each year to designated to disengage teams because team is not engaged. That much of money is actually used. So which means a percentage of this is actually yours being an owner, because if in case you haven't built a system, it is actually affecting you. Okay. And with a team system, of course, there is a lot of improvement, 2.3 times of higher 3-year revenue growth versus average competitors. Against the competitors, you can get higher revenue if you have a proper team management system. 23% of higher profitability in high engaged teams, 81% of lower absenteeism in high engagement business, 21% higher profitability but clear process. So this is a study. This is a study, my dear friends. So look at your business and you yourself, understand that what is the difference. It's not the people. It's about the system, what actually works inside the company. Okay. So don't be this person who's a company owner who actually lose a lot of opportunity without having a proper system, team system. Rather, be a kind of an owner where you get all these benefits of having a proper system. Okay. Now we are getting into the actual meat of this masterclass, which is a team operating system. Team. T stands for transparency. E stands for execution. A stands for accountability. Momentum, the other one. Okay. Yeah. So this is a framework which I built. This is a kind of a system that I want to introduce to you. And you guys can actually go through this. You guys can understand. And I'm going to actually give you 21 ideas, or I would say 21 pieces of the system. And you pick top 3, which is actually relevant to you today. And then you move ahead. Yeah. And then you move ahead with whatever you wanted. So if you guys are excited to hear this, please put E in the chat box. Let me hear. Let me hear that. Okay, I could see that 𝘱𝗫𝘀 is coming. Proper follow-up and delay for the reply. If you're excited to see this framework, please put E, letter E, excited, E in the chat box. Okay, cool. Okay, super cool. Okay. Now, these are the 4 pillars of my framework: transparency, execution, accountability, and momentum. What is transparency? Transparency is something like everyone in the organization, whoever is having any task of role, any particular, and task to do, they're very clear what exactly the company, meant by this. This is properly transferred. This is properly communicated. That is one thing. Okay. Execution, meaning there is an execution, follow-up is not required. That sort of an execution chart, that sort of a execution culture is part of my system. And another one is accountability. There is always an accountable person. The owner is there. I mean, the task owner. There is no ambiguity. There is no guesswork. Every task, every project, every movement, every decision, it is actually, given to somebody. The task is for somebody. And momentum, meaning every time you will actually improve this. You keep improving your system. System is like that. System is not that you will build one time and you will keep quiet for lifetime. No, not like that. System is you will actually build as a project. Maybe it will take 1 week or 1 month or maybe 1 year. Some of the system will take 1 year. Depends how deep the system you wanted to build or you have to build. Then of course, even after that, there's a moment. Okay. So if one pillar of this, my 4-pillar framework, if one pillar of this is weak, then your performance is going to suffer. Your team and business performance is going to suffer. If 2 of these pillars are weak, then of course you can still see the drama inside the company. A lot of drama will be there still. Okay. If 3 pillars are weak, then the owner becomes the operating system. You still be the operating system. You can't do what you're supposed to do as a actual CEO of the company. Okay. So your role is slowly build the complete team pillars, team system. Okay. Not just the 1 or 2 or 3 from this, the 4. All right. Now let's move to each of the pillars. I'm actually going to share the complete elements, complete pieces of each system. Then I'm going to detail it. So whatever the doubt you have, you can please put it on your notebook or your device, and you can talk to me when we come to the Q&A session. Okay. So basically the small improvements, I want you to do, and I want you to have a repeated or consistently, produce the extraordinary business result. Okay. The first thing is transparency. One source of truth, which means you cannot run your business and say that I'm a systemized business by having multiple WhatsApp groups, for example. I still remember one of the companies which I was actually coaching in, I think 2018 or 19 period back in Dubai. This business were having around 100 WhatsApp groups. I literally got surprised. And they were telling me like, Irfan, can I add you to this group? Can I add you to this group? I said, no, man, please don't. I was thinking like 1 or 2 WhatsApp groups. But when I see this culture of having lots of WhatsApp groups, I said, please don't add me to the WhatsApp groups. And that is not a one source for truth. This is multiple source of truth. So if you are a business owner who is running the communication or, trying to bring the transparency by having multiple WhatsApp groups, it is not going to help you out. It is actually going to your life miserable, conflict, complex. So have one single dashboard, and that is also not WhatsApp groups, by the way. That is a dashboard. That is a tool. That is an operating, tool. Let's say a team management system. That's an operating dashboard. There are many in the market, by the way. There are many in the market. There are free tools are available. Paid tools are available. Even you can develop it. I help my clients to develop. I mean, I have an ecosystem. Like I'm not just a business coach. I have an ecosystem where I have partners to build this kind of thing. Even in my, for a global business ecosystem, there is something I built for my company. And the same is I'm actually building for my clients. So I want you to have one single source for truth. Even if you have a Google sheet, that's okay. But have one Google sheet, which will have all that, stuff to it. That is number 1. Number 2, have the role clarity. Like, let everyone know what is expecting, what is the actual clarity on that stuff. There is no ambiguity, of course, shouldn't be. Decision, definition should be there. Whether it is done or not. What is the definition? Done meaning what? Sometimes people will actually get done in a different manner. Yeah, I shared with you the example already. Yeah. So define the done statuses. Another thing is that meeting outcomes. Every time when you finish a meeting, there should be a meeting outcome. What I meant by that, once you finish your meeting, what is that action points for the from the meeting? That has to be clearly, decided, documented, and given to that source of truth. You have to input that in the source of truth. You meaning your team members. Okay. And finally, everything has to be visible, and the priority has to be visible separately. Out of 100 tasks, the top 2 or 3 priority, what is that? Should be visible. Okay. And when it comes to the execution side, there should be a standard operating procedure. Standard operating procedure, meaning what to be done, how to be done. What is that process portfolio? I mean, the process steps. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, what is to be done? And reduce the handoffs. Like, you have less role in this stuff. You don't have to be there every time to decide and everything, So you give the decision levels to your team members. Yeah, do make your execution mechanism like that. Otherwise, people will always wait for your presence, your approval. And have a daily rhythm. Even if you have a system and everything, make sure that actually there is a rhythm. There is a daily updates happening, daily follow-ups happening, daily, visible inputs or updates are happening. And remove the repeat question. Whenever there's a question comes, first you think, how can I improve my system? How can I bring this to my dashboard? So that this question will not be asking to me. I can input that, frequently asking questions, answer there already there. No, so that you can actually get out of these repeated questions. Okay, this is execution stuff. And now when we come to the accountability stuff. Accountability is who is responsible, that kind of mechanism. So what is a weekly scorecard? Like, that there are a lot of things are happening, but what is it weekly scoreboards? You wanted to see, how it is actually, improving. What are the things done? What are the things pending? What are the things on progress? And which are the team members are performing well? Which are the team members are actually giving you the great stuff? So that has to be there on the weekly scoreboard. When I say scoreboard, as I said earlier, this could be a tool or this could be even a Google sheet. Yeah. If you're a very traditional guy, then even a board, a whiteboard you can buy and put in the office, then you can actually write over there and see how is it scored. But I would definitely ask you to have a proper tool. Yeah, it's not a big investment stuff, by the way. A lot of tools are available in the market. Okay. And the public commitments. Whenever there is a commitment comes from team members, let it be public. Let it be announced in a manner like everyone can see that. If it is very confidential, then you and that person will see, or his respective manager will see. Otherwise, whatever the normal stuff, you make it public so that there is an inspiration happening in the organization. Okay. Another one is follow-up rhythm. Like you don't have to follow up. Let the people update you back. And of course, when the follow-up related to the clients and all, no, let that happen in the document, in that system. So you don't have to go and tell them every time. You don't have to follow up them. Let that system build once and it happens every time. As I said earlier, no, if you wanted to have a LinkedIn post every week this time, let that happen. And that particular tool will reflect it back and give you the stuff. Okay. And celebrate each completions. There could be a lot of winnings happening, of course. Yeah. But don't be a person like a leader, like you're not appreciating your team members. You appreciate them, you recognize them, give them some rewards and gifts and everything. Have that culture in the organization. And of course, have the review system. Okay. And finally, the momentum. So momentum is something that you are actually making sure that there is a momentum, there is a movement, there is an improvement, there is a upgradation of your system. So weekly learning review. Yeah. Meaning, whatever you implemented, whatever you learned could be reviewed over there. Yeah. In that meeting. Improve one system every week, capture the wins, and cross-team learning. Meaning what? One department can teach the other department. Like a finance department can teach some financial stuff, the sales department. Sales department can teach some sort of their relationship building with the client to the accounts department. The cross-function functional training could be happen. That is also part of momentum. And of course, remove the one rule. Every week you make a system simple. So the complex rules remove every week, remove one rule. Yeah, that's how you actually make this better. Okay. So if you want to take a screenshot of this particular slide, please take a screenshot of this because this is a meat. This is the essence of this masterclass. Once you take the screenshot, please put SS in the chat box. SS screenshot. Please put SS in the chat box because this is the meat. This is the main essence of the session. Okay. I got one SS from 𝘱𝗀𝗃𝗃. Okay, I think everyone has taken. So let me move ahead. Okay, so I want you to don't implement